consider a lifestyle where everything you have put into your life appears to be just right. But beneath the facade, each day is weighed down, tiring and isolating. Such is the reality of Robyn Brown, a star of the reality television program Sister Wives. In recent weeks, a revelation came to light, shocking fans around the world. The wife, Robyn, confessed to her unhappiness within her relationship with Kody Brown. Robyn has always been a bit of a mysterious character in the Brown family. When viewers are tuned in to the reality show, it seems like she always comes across as calm, collected, and even content, despite the tension between the family members. But what viewers do not see, allegedly, is the fact that Robyn has been dealing with loneliness for years. This admission is important for a number of reasons. First, it goes against what the world thought they knew, that she was that put-together woman, happy wife with it all. Second, it has a possible implication of what it is like to live with a polygamous marriage, a dynamic that may be exciting for others, but lives with extreme emotional intensity. Finally, it leads perfectly into the more controversial admission that came after, that Robyn admitted that she could have blown up the marriages of their daughter, Aurora. Let's take a moment and understand what's going on here. Perhaps the mother, who isn't happy in her relationship, has had an effect on her daughter's romantic life. At first, it would seem surprising, almost as if there's an element of manipulation going on. However, if you grasp the emotional aspect, then it becomes more understandable. Because Robyn isn't happy in her life, there would have been an element where she has potentially projected her issues in Aurora's life. Those who have been fans of the show Sister Wives for many years understand the complexities of boundaries in relation to the relationship between the whole family, especially in relation to having plural marriage. Clearly, the confession came from a deeply considered place for Robyn. In her revelation, the reality of the lifestyle that she has embraced and the struggle to prioritize what will ultimately bring her happiness was evident. Indeed, the conflict between what brings her happiness and her obligations to her family may be what has caused her so much pain all along. This feeling of being trapped is not new to Robyn, as her audience has seen her go through many highs and lows in her reality show, Sister Wives. These range from fights involving properties, Kody, and the effort of still retaining her own sense of identity within such a complicated family setup. But now, unlike before, she is, for the first time, admitting that all these factors combined have made her very miserable. A word that may hold more meaning than all her smiles combined. But this is not the end of the story. The second part of the revelation of this fact in Robyn is what has actually caught the attention of fans. Aurora has been dating in the most complicated manner over the past few seasons. There were relationships that looked promising but did not work out for some reason. There were speculations that the reason for this is that of Robyn, but until now, this has been near fiction. Robyn's confession brings a new level to all of these rumors. Robyn has now confessed that she has interfered in her daughter's love life on some occasions due to both parental care and some of her own unresolved feelings. According to her own admission, while in some cases my actions have come from a desire to protect my daughter's interests, perhaps in others, I haven't always acted in a way that's strictly fair on my daughter. Fans quickly took to social media to express their opinions on whether or not Robyn has crossed some lines. Some supporters of Robyn feel that many of the characters are acting out of parental concern, particularly in situations in which their children might suffer, as in the case of potential pain and heartbreak. Others are rather harder on them and remind them of Aurora's age and independence, as she is an adult, free to choose what she wants, and the introduction of external influence in any way at all could prove detrimental to future relationship building. The battle between concerned parental instincts and autonomy as themes are central to this topic and are highlighted through this confession by Robyn. It should also be noted that Robyn faces problems because of the nature of polygamy itself. In contrast to conventional relationships, polygamous households involve the utmost degree of balancing of relationships. However, it has been made clear already that Robyn is actually quite tolerant amongst the many wives of Kody. However, this degree of tolerance simply has its limits. Through Robyn's confession, the humanity of all these relationships becomes manifest, in the way that even the most composed individual may have his limits tested once his needs remain unmet. Additionally, the fact that she lives in the public eye makes it even more difficult. Every experience that Robyn has is highlighted and heightened by the media exposure and fans who pick up on every aspect of it, Becker argues. The lack of privacy can further exacerbate feelings of isolation and frustration when personal problems become grist for public mills. When she confessed, Robyn expressed how she felt seen and unseen at the same time, which is something that many viewers can identify with in their own lives. Though not to the same degree, of course. Her integrity is also a reminder that reality TV is only snippets of reality, and that viewers may be watching edited pictures of reality and thinking that the TV picture is the reality, when in actuality, there is so much that goes unseen. Robyn's secret is one that has been masked until now, and provides a side of her reality that has been unseen until now, period. Perhaps the most painful part of Robyn's confession has been the consequences it has brought about for her children, especially Aurora. Robyn may have been working from a place of worry or emotional transference, but the fact remains that she has repercussions for the people she loves. Aurora, too, who's dealing with her own journey of love and self-discovery, finds herself struggling with the fallout of her mother's unhappiness. The fans are responding with a combination of shock, empathy, and interest, while some people are in awe of Robyn's willingness to share her feelings in a public platform. Others are questioning whether her meddling in Aurora's relationships amounts to overstepping. The fan discussion surrounding the web series reflects the public interest in the Brown family, as well as the various themes of influence in life. In the end, Robyn's secret is something much bigger than what you'd find in a newspaper headline. Robyn's confession is ultimately a tale about being human and human vulnerability, family dynamics, and finding happiness. It presents a call to all who are watching to look at their assumptions about life in polygamy and life under the scrutiny that comes with reality television, and to recognize that even people who are very tough and very put together struggle with their emotions. As this news begins to circulate, one can't help but wonder, will this openness provide healing for this family? Will Aurora be allowed to move forward in her love life in a manner that is unfettered? And just how will Robyn go on and fulfill herself in light of being a significant part of one of the most public polygamous families on television? One thing that is for sure, though, is that shocking revelation by Robyn Brown has utterly changed the dialogue surrounding sister wives once and for all. This is no longer simply a show for entertainment purposes. It now involves reality itself. It involves emotions, personal struggles, and so on. It has all become about finding a balance between family and personal happiness. Marriage is often spoken of as a partnership grounded in trust, love, and shared goals. But what happens when the foundation begins to crack, when communication falters, and when emotional needs go unmet for years? To Robyn Brown, one of Kody Brown's wives on Sister Wives, this is not a hypothetical question. It is what she deals with every day. In a bombshell revelation, Robyn has now candidly admitted that her marriage to Kody has made her feel isolated, frustrated, and deeply unhappy, a confession that has sent shockwaves through the Sister Wives fan community. Fans have always viewed Robyn as one of the wives with her head screwed on right and a level head. She's also lauded for her patience, which she deploys to keep peace among Kody's wives, and her will to raise their children normally under the scrutiny that comes with being part of a high-profile polygamous family. On screen, at least, Robyn can seem even-tempered and almost always the voice of reason when drama unfolds. But this mom's emotional reality has been rather different behind the cameras. The polygamous lifestyle of the Brown family is a juggling act, with Kody needing to divide his time, love, and substance among plural wives, each with her own personality and needs that come along with their expectations. In theory, this can work well, but practically, it has been a continuous cause of stress. Robyn has described herself several times as one committed to the family and willing to compromise. But even a patient person cannot bear all that burden always. According to insiders, years have built up her dissatisfaction, fueled by emotional neglect, lack of intimacy, and unresolved marriage conflict. Robyn admitted, quite candidly, that the emotional burden of her marriage has taken its toll on her, not only because of her mental health, but also in the way she has thought about life. She explained very articulately that she often feels confined, caught up in a rhythm of duties, expectations, and compromising that provide very little personal fulfillment. In a polygamous home, it is easy for one's personal desires to be sacrificed for the needs of the family or Kody's attention, and thus become relegated to the background. Robyn admitted to times when she may have felt invisible, her contributions and sacrifices taken for granted. This emotional exhaustion has subsequently caused frustration and tension in her relations with Kody. Viewers have noted several occasions when there was some sort of disagreements or, at the very least, subtlety in distance between them. Now, with Robyn's admission, the audience can appreciate how deeply she suffered. She related how she felt disconnected with Kody, first and foremost, not physically, but emotionally, and that breach has been broadening for quite some time. For a marriage that demands ongoing communication and cooperation, such separation is especially distressing. Part of the challenge is the unusual dynamics of polygamy itself. Not like conventional marriages, being in a polygamous relationship requires constant negotiation. Each wife has her set of expectations, and Kody must work these against his desires and responsibilities. Robyn's position within this setup is particularly challenging. She is not the first wife, but has often been considered one of Kody's most intimate companions, which raises the emotional stakes higher than normally expected. The unhappiness of Robyn doesn't affect her well-being alone. It casts a shadow on the stability of the whole family unit. According to sources, Robyn's emotional condition trickles down to the dynamics between her and the sister wives. While this family usually preaches cooperation and unity, the reality is that tension does not really ease up when one person feels unsatisfied. Insiders confirm Robyn struggles to express her own needs without letting it be a point of contention, thus creating moments of silence, resentment, and frustration. To some, this is understandable. Yet the emotions have created a strained atmosphere that neither the camera nor family can completely disregard. Most interestingly, perhaps, Robyn's confession has unraveled how her personal dissatisfaction has crossed paths with her role of being a mother. According to Robyn, her life and the events that took place in it have also influenced the living of her daughter, Aurora. Robyn said her feelings of unhappiness and unfulfilled life might have controlled the way she reacted towards her daughter, Aurora, with regard to her love life. This was an acknowledgement that added complexity to the story, because it shows how one's personal struggles may have influences on those closest to us. Sister Wives fans have indeed been speculating about Robyn and Kody's relationship for quite some time. Some people have praised her for the grace with which she has faced her challenges, while others have questioned if her seeming compliance masks deeper unhappiness. Well, Robyn herself confirmed what most had suspected, that marriage, especially one as unconventional and high-pressure as hers, comes with emotional costs that cannot be hidden behind a camera-ready smile. The confession also brings to light Kody's position in the marriage. Being the husband, he carries a lot of responsibility in splitting his time, attention, and energy among plural wives. However, Robyn's admission suggests that his efforts have perhaps been well-intentioned, though falling short of her emotional needs at times. Whether due to differences in personality, communication styles, or simply because of the polygamous nature of the marriage, it is a partnership at odds. To fans, Kody is no longer just the patriarch of a famous family, but instead a husband whose choices, and perhaps limitations, have real-world impacts on those women he loves. But the very public nature of her life complicates Robyn's struggle further. Reality television, social media, and scrutiny from fans mean any conflict, disagreement, or bout of unhappiness is magnified. In addition to her own emotions, Robyn must consider the expectations of millions of viewers that judge, comment, and speculate on her life. In her confession, she described this pressure as exhausting, saying it often feels like she must put up a happy exterior while internally wrestling with feelings of frustration and isolation. Yet, despite such challenges, Robyn's honesty is a clear turning point. By expressing her unhappiness, she is taking the first step toward resolving it. According to family experts, admitting discontent is what opens a path toward change, be that through changes in communication, the setting of boundaries, or satisfaction found outside of the confines of marriage. Robyn's courage to speak out serves as an example to onlookers who might themselves be trapped in a loveless relationship, showing that even under the brightest lights, difficult truths can be confronted. These are not developments that impact only Robyn and Kody. The entire Brown family is comprised of co-wives and children, who are all affected by the tension in the marriage. All relationships within a polygamous family are intertwined. One person's unhappiness can have repercussions felt in every other corner of the household. In turn, Robyn's emotional state most likely influences dynamics with her co-wives, the way Kody interacts with each wife, and the overall atmosphere in the family home. Knowing this usually puts many things into perspective for fans and helps them to appreciate how complex life is inside the Brown family, which is just not captured on the many edits of the reality TV version. Finally, Robyn's confession has opened a wider discussion on the emotional truths of plural marriages. A lifestyle that, to outsiders, is often romanticized or reproached, exposed through the honesty of Robyn, shows the human side in the story, in the form of vulnerability, sacrifices, losses, and an unceasing struggle to maintain peace and harmony in the family. The audience will finally have a chance to perceive her not as a reality TV star, but as a real woman who has been on a very difficult and personal journey. Conclusion: by admitting that she is miserable in her marriage to Kody Brown, Robyn Brown breaks through a wall that offers an infrequent look at emotional complexity on camera. The difficulties faced by her underscore the challenges of polygamy, the emotional costs of compromise, and the negative impact of personal unhappiness on family relationships. This confession is more than just reality TV drama. It is a human story of vulnerability, resiliency, and the search for emotional satisfaction. A very valid question among fans at this point would be how the Browns will navigate the crisis at this juncture, and whether Robyn can find a path to happiness while being an integral part of her family. The story of Robyn and Kody's marriage is not one of conflict, but of the courage it takes to stand before difficult truths that take a dent on family and personal needs, and the emotional cost of being under the public eye. The fans watch this narrative unfold. One thing is for sure: Robyn's candor has always impacted the way people looked at her her marriage, and the intricate dynamics in the Brown family. Growing up in the spotlight means each and every action, decision, and relationship is under the scrutiny of millions of people. For Aurora Brown, daughter of Robyn and Kody Brown on Sister Wives, this was life from day one. She has always been surrounded by cameras, drama within a family, and also the unique pressures of a polygamous household. But now that Robyn has made the bombshell admission of possibly interfering in Aurora's romantic relationships, the young woman's struggles have come center stage to leave fans sympathetic and astonished. Aurora's life has often seemed to be a balancing act. On one hand, she adores the privileges and attention that come with the realities of being part of one of reality television's most famous families, while on the other hand, she faces problems that only few teenagers and young adults could truly fathom. For instance, this includes under-the-microscope living, crazy family dynamics, and the invisible weight of living under her mother's emotional shadow. More so, her romantic relationships have drawn attention from fans, constant speculations, and social media debates as to why some work out and others do not. For the last few seasons, it has appeared very turbulent for Aurora's dating life. Promising relationships seem to abruptly end, leaving her and viewers to wonder what went wrong: bad timing, personality conflicts, or something entirely different. Online rumors swirled that an intervention by a family member, perhaps a parent, had occurred. No one knew the full story until now, but a recent admission by Robyn has shed new light on these incidents. According to Robyn, her own unhappiness in her marriage to Kody may have influenced how she interacted with Aurora's romantic life. Robyn freely admits that, at times, she might have interfered, deliberately or subconsciously, in ways that influenced Aurora's relationships. While she said that many times her motivations were rooted in her concern for her daughter, the truth is more complex. If one parent is feeling emotional, it is often difficult not to let those feelings spill over onto his or her children. For Robyn, frustration, disappointment, and a feeling of unfulfilled promise may have been expressed as control or overprotection, especially regarding her daughter's romantic life. This dynamic raises important questions with regards to boundaries, autonomy, and transgenerational consequences of emotional struggle. Aurora, as a young adult, was trying to carve out her own path and establish her independence, but when a parent's unresolved emotions influence one's decisions, it can be complicated. Robyn's admission suggests that her unhappiness may have created obstacles for Aurora, ones that were not of her own making. This revelation has really incensed the fans, and many have sympathized with Aurora. As one can note in online discussions, while parents would naturally want to protect their children, interference, especially if founded on a personal dissatisfaction issue, can be detrimental. The comments ran the gamut from supportive, "Aurora deserves a right to her decisions," to more critical, "Robyn needs to deal with her own problems instead of projecting them onto her daughter." This conversation accents how absolutely tough this delicate balance between concern and personal autonomy is, especially within an unpredictable family, as public as the Browns. Aurora's struggle is further exacerbated by the peculiar dynamics of her household. When a member of a polygamous family feels or acts a certain way, every other member of the family does too. Robyn's unhappiness in her marriage isn't solipsistic. It ripples onto Kody, her sister wives, and the children. That makes for one hell of a hard atmosphere for Aurora to endure, with her mother's unhappiness indirectly shaping her experiences, including those with romance. Moreover, Aurora's case underlines a universal truth, that parental influence is strong, especially during the formative years. The best of intentions sometimes beget the worst of results. Robyn seemed to admit that her meddling, consciously or unconsciously, may have contributed to Aurora's problems in the dating world. It is another reminder that inner turmoil, if not worked out, can reverberate to negatively impact not only oneself, but also the loved ones. Adding to the complication is the fact that all of Aurora's actions are under the scrutiny of the public eye. Every relationship, every breakup, and every interaction is under the microscope of the fans, who continuously project their own expectations and opinions on her life. This could escalate any parental influence and make it even harder on Aurora to live her love life freely. Meanwhile, social media users have debated whether the public attention ramps up tension within the family or simply brings issues to light that were already present. Either way, Aurora has to fight a battle on two fronts: personal and public. Robyn's confession also begs for reflection upon the emotional repercussions on Aurora. The feeling of guilt, confusion, and frustration that one experiences from being torn between love for a parent and the need for independence. It is never easy to balance love toward a parent with a need to establish personal boundaries, especially when family dynamics are already strained. Aurora's situation resonates with viewers who have experienced similar struggles, though perhaps on a less public scale, illustrating the universal challenges of growing up under the influence of parental expectations. The ripple effect does not stop there, either. The interplay of her mother's unhappiness and her own can help shape Aurora's general sense of autonomy, self-confidence, and decision-making capabilities. Robyn's acknowledgement of such can almost insinuate that she realizes the damage done by her persistence, and the realizations that may be a catalyst for change within the family. Many fans wish this sort of self-awareness would translate to healthier boundaries in the future, giving Aurora the space to make her relationship and life choices without interference. The bigger context of polygamy is complex on another level. In one home with several wives and children, there are always mixed emotions. Each one's sadness or joy touches the others. Thus, Robyn's emotional dilemmas are not isolated, but create ripples in the entire family, including Aurora. Understanding such dynamics helps the audience appreciate the particular challenges faced by children who grow up in polygamous families, where parental influence becomes both magnified and complicated because of several adults working out intermingled relationships. Family dynamics experts say this situation is not unique. In some cases, dissatisfactions in their own lives make parents act unproductively with their children. This overprotection, criticism, or control may be supplied by the parent's unresolved emotions rather than a child's behavior. Robyn's honesty in admitting her role in Aurora's challenges reflects a level of self-awareness that is important to start change and foster healthier family dynamics. As the revelation sinks in for fans, many cannot help but reflect on the larger ramification of it all. It is not just one young woman's tale of romance gone wrong, but rather a lens through which viewers can examine the complex interplay between parental influence, personal autonomy, and emotional health. These are key questions. How do we find a balance between concern for loved ones while giving respect for their independence? How do we ensure that our dissatisfaction in life will not be projected onto those around us? And in families under public scrutiny, how do we safeguard our emotional well-being as we work to manage the challenges coming from outside our walls? Aurora's story is one of endurance and strengthening. Her mother's unhappiness and the ripple effect that it has in her romantic life notwithstanding, Aurora bravely goes through her path. The audience wants her to find love, independence, and happiness on her terms. Robyn's confession, though a difficulty, may turn into a point of change, an opportunity for a mother and a daughter to recognize past struggles, form new boundaries, and head in healthier directions. The Aurora drama also serves to illustrate a very relatable reality, in that our lives are not always determined by our own choices, but sometimes by the emotional terrain mapped out by our loved ones. Robyn's unhappiness, while intensely personal, has invariably had an impact on Aurora, further emphasizing how interlinked family dynamics can get, particularly when functioning at high tension, as was the case within the Brown household. It is a story that at least rings true with the audience, offering insight into the complexities of parental influence and the importance of emotional awareness. In conclusion, Aurora Brown's struggles serve as a powerful reminder that personal unhappiness can have rippling effects, extending far beyond oneself and into the lives one touches. Robyn provides insight into some of the reasons behind Aurora's challenges in her life of romance, hence giving the fans a new insight into the inner details of the family. It is a story of intergenerational impact, emotional complexity, and the enduring human struggle to find happiness amidst challenging circumstances. As audiences continue to follow the Brown family, one thing is for sure: Aurora's journey is very far from over. The ripple effect of her mother's emotional state has created obstacles, yet it's opened the door for growth, understanding, and change. The fans are watchdogs awaiting how she will navigate her relationships, declare her independence, and eventually find her own path to happiness. When the news broke that one of the wives on Sister Wives, Robyn Brown, had a revelation that she was unhappy in her relationship with Kody Brown, and may have interfered in her daughter's relationship as well, the internet exploded. Fans of Sister Wives were shocked, hurt, and ready to break down all facets of this revelation. Social media sites, websites, and YouTube comments filled up quickly, not just with dialogue, but also reaction and heartfelt expressions. By making that revelation, not only was family life exposed, but a worldwide dialogue was started. The initial response was one of shock and compassion. Robyn has been characterized as the composed and patient wife of the group. For so many years, this has been her reputation. Viewers who faithfully followed the reality series began questioning the reality they thought they knew. Statements such as, "I always thought Robyn had it all together. I had no idea she was so unhappy," are a testament to the shock many of the fans are feeling. There has been respect expressed about her willingness to come forward about her unhappiness within this public arena. Other fans, though, concentrated on the second side of the confession Robyn shared, instigating a romance between the other lead, Aurora. This development quickly led to controversy as fans wondered if Robyn went about things the right way as a mother. Tweets about the issue addressed the issue of how Robyn's moral compass will guide the choices she'll make as a vigilante. "She's human, you know, she's bound to make some mistakes, but your daughter's love life? That's one boundary you should never cross." I can relate to Aurora. She should be allowed to choose her path in life and not have her mother's dissatisfaction transferred to her. Robyn admitting that she's miserable is very brave. While Aurora's relationships are none of her business, perhaps she didn't know what the impact would be. Fan reactions have sparked an interesting underlying theme. How involved should parents be in the life of an adult child? When it comes to Aurora, it seems the answer is clear: entanglement can have long-term repercussions. However, for Robyn, her emotional turmoil clouds the situation. While it isn't an excuse for her behavior, Robyn's sadness, frustration, and feelings of being trapped in a complicated polygamous marriage go a long way in explaining why she's acted in a manner that may continue to alienate her viewers. Notably, the confession even touched on conversations about mental health. Fans were very empathetic about issues associated with emotional well-being, as suppression of emotions over a long time takes a toll. Some comments posted online were such as, "Life in the spotlight and feeling confined is so draining. I hope she gets the help she requires." Robyn's honesty is significant because women often hide their dissatisfaction in order to maintain harmony in the family. This is not about drama, it's about mental wellness and boundaries. I'm so pleased she spoke out." Such reactions illustrate that the audience is interested, not only in the story, but also in the reality that goes with it. Robyn's storyline is relatable to the audience, since it is a common struggle that people go through in order to balance happiness and family responsibilities. A majority of the audience felt that they could relate to her feelings of frustration and expression of dissatisfaction. However, the confession also fueled debates about polygamy itself. Critics of polygamy believed that the nature of polygamous relationships means that scenarios are created where spouses can potentially suffer from emotional abandonment, jealousy, and discontentment. The fact that Robyn made this confession was cited as an example of how difficult it is to ensure harmony amongst multiple spouses and offspring at the cost of personal happiness. However, polygamy supporters believed that this family simply represented people who live the polygamy lifestyle, where problems are typical in any marriage, let alone in the Brown situation. The social media users also engaged in discussions regarding Kody Brown's role within the whole process. While some users felt Kody failed to address the needs within their relationship with Robyn, others felt Kody is under a tremendous amount of pressure as well to ensure everything works within their blended family. Indeed, Kody has lots of plates to focus on, but it's impossible to overlook Robyn's discontent. He is handling a few different relationships. It is certainly not easy. Robyn also has got to find her own voice. It's a complicated family. And I do feel for all the people involved. Polygamy is not an easy thing, and there are going to be some tangled emotions. The fans' responses to the show not only expressed their opinions and views about the event, and also reflected an understanding of the dynamics between the Brown family members. Robyn's confession triggered fan engagement not only in terms of decisions related to marriage and mental health, but also regarding the influence that parents have on society. Interestingly, some viewers also drew long-term interpretations with respect to what would happen in the future with respect to Aurora. Many believed that the confession could be a turning point whereby she would have a chance to show her independence by maintaining better boundaries with respect to her mother. Such comments included, of course, the hope is that Aurora will, for the first time, be able to make. This may be a wake-up call for Robyn as well, to work on her own happiness. I hope they can both heal and rebuild their relationship with honesty and respect, he hoped. These reactions reflect, in part, the optimism that some viewers feel, a sense that in grappling with truths such as those that are being told on this show, there may lie growth and healing, and strengthened familial relationships. Robyn's confession is painful to share and to witness, but it's perhaps that first step towards change that might allow something good to emerge. However, this is accompanied by other disappointed viewers who feel that Robyn is being unjust and hurtful. These people feel that her meddling in Aurora's romantic life could affect her daughter negatively and impact her capability to trust and form loving relations in future. This is seen in people's comments on the matter. Robyn contacted events too much. Aurora needs to be away from such influences. Parental oversight of this type can seriously screw up a young adult's life. This is not about motives, it's about outcomes. This confession doesn't excuse what she did. Aurora's life should be her own. This is the conflict between feeling sympathy with Robyn and worrying about Aurora. What makes the reaction so interesting is that viewers aren't simply acting on emotion. They are thinking in quite thoughtful ways about the effects of her decisions and the role of parental responsibilities in the polygamous culture. The confession also reignited debates regarding the pressures of reality TV. Several fans posted comments regarding how the constant filming can contribute to issues in their lives, since conflict can become public entertainment. These comments include, Just think of having problems in your marriage with everyone watching your every step. No wonder she feels like she is trapped. Surveillance state blog writer Scott Fleming explained. Reality TV exaggerates problems. Robyn is real, not just a character from the show. I don't think I could handle having my private life picked apart by millions of people. Her brother wrote to her from Sweden. It has. Such discussions prove that the audience acknowledges the obviousness of the television editing process, while being conscious of the emotional realities embedded in it. Robyn's weakness in the narrative encourages viewers to relate to it. Besides the social networking communities, fan forums as well as online discussion groups are abuzz with commentary and opinions about the matter. Fans are not only dissecting the feelings involved in Robyn's revelation, but are also exploring related aspects in the world of their favorite character, such as polygamy, family limits, parental influence, as well as mental health. The fact that fans are getting so involved in this indicates that Robyn's secret sharing exercise is much more than just pure fun, as it's prompting discussions related to life itself. Finally, the fan response proves the relevance of honesty and vulnerability. Robyn has been able to be honest about her unhappiness in life. More importantly, her influence on the relationships of her children has made her more relatable. The fans witness a woman trying to understand her feelings of unhappiness. The fan response proves her authenticity as a television series, since nothing in television programming has been able to evoke the same response. In summary, it is clear that the viewer response to Robyn Brown's confession is both complex and telling. This is a response that encompasses shock, sympathy, criticism, and hope, all of which illustrate how one individual's revelation can spark a wide range of conversations about relationships, family, and emotional issues. In many ways, what is taking place with Sister Wives is not simply a redefining of that show, but a reflection of personal experiences as they pertain to our own lives. As the online discussion unfolds, one thing is evident. Robyn Brown's confession has left a lasting impact on everyone involved. Fans are invested, and they are torn apart by the confession, as it has now become a cultural catalyst to talk about families, love, and the struggle to find happiness within oneself despite the needs of other people around them. Indeed, the impact of the confession does not only reach the Brown family, but the whole world watching, interpreting, and relating to each step taken along the process. Recent developments in the Brown family, thanks to Robyn Brown's revelations, have shocked the family, their fans, as well as reality TV show fans around the world. The family, known as Sister Wives, has been following their struggles with polygamy, public scrutiny, and family relationship complexities for years. However, Robyn's open admission that she's unhappy in her relationship with Kody Brown, and that she's been playing matchmakers in choosing partners for her daughter Aurora, has flipped the entire script. It's not just reality TV anymore, because it's reality, with real individuals, their feelings, and the far-reaching after-effects of personal struggles on an entire family. At the center of this awakening is Robyn. With her confession about her unhappiness, she has begun the process of awakening to the pain that has been accumulating in her as a result of her years of sacrifice in her relationship. It's very painful and also liberating for her to admit the truths on this reality show, as it's uncharacteristic for people on these types of reality programs for her level of candor to be common. To make changes in her life, the first thing Robyn has to do is acknowledge her unhappiness in her relationship, whether it's in her relationship with Kody, in her role as part of her family, or in finding her individual happiness. This particular admission of confession comes as an awakening for Kody Brown. Being at the helm of a polygamous family, it has always been of prime importance for Kody Brown to maintain the emotional needs of his wives. This particular admission by Robyn proves that sometimes, with good intentions, people can go wrong in meeting the emotional needs of others. It has become a dilemma for Kody Brown to solve because he has been presented with the situation of dealing with his marriage to Robyn in particular, as well as its impact in general. The confession also highlights family dynamics. Polygamous families, by definition, consist of complicated family interactions. The emotions, choices, and actions of each individual can create ripple effects. The discontent of Robyn, for instance, does not stay within her marriage but spills over into her lives, influencing her co-wives, her children, and even the whole family environment. The whole family system can experience tension, resentment, and stress when the individual discontent and dissatisfaction are left unattended. The viewers of the confession are experiencing all this in the real lives of the individuals, understanding the complicated interactions of the emotions within the polygamous family. Among the most popular and immediate consequences of this confession is that it may have an effect on Aurora, her daughter. Aurora is already faced with her own struggles in matters pertaining to her love life. She has now got the toughest job of living her life based on an understanding that her own mother may not live her life as she always imagined. Her mother may live her life in such a way that it will directly affect her in an unwanted manner. The co-wives are also very important within this dynamic, changing family life. Within polygamous families, the emotional well-being of each wife can impact on others. This confession by Robyn might cause these other wives to realize their happiness and emotional well-being and pave the way for discussions on their happiness and emotional well-being. Although this is difficult, this is necessary for making their family life balanced and harmonious. This is where heightened transparency and communication would become important for helping this family during this new life. The confession also has other implications with regards to the public impression of the Brown family. The public has been enthralled with the drama, the laughs, and sometimes even the fights presented on sister wives. However, the confession by Robyn brings a certain element of complexity to the mix. It illustrates just how much real emotion is beneath the curb, how much real trauma and difficulty are taking place beneath the facade presented to the public on sister wives. The viewers are no longer just watching a scripted production, a show formatted specifically to bring emotion to the audience. Instead, they are seeing real individuals struggling to come to terms with real truths. From the psychological standpoint, Robyn's confession about her feelings is a very important turning point. It has been seen in couple or family therapies that the mere admission of one's dissatisfaction is the first step towards positive change. Robyn was able to take the first step towards change in her life, as well as her relationships within the family. It is also important to note here that emotional well-being is not a personal issue only. On the contrary, it is closely associated with the well-being of our loved ones as well. Social media sites as well as the fan sites are filled with speculations of what this means to the future of the Brown family. Will Kody take up the mantle of Robyn's concerns, or is this conflict going to be left to simmer beneath the surface? How the co-wives of Kody take this piece of information, as well as what the future of the relationship between mother and daughter holds, as Aurora seeks to assert independence without losing relationship status with mother, only fans know at this point in time. This engagement by fans stands testimony to the fact that the Brown family is not only an interesting aspect of television viewing, but also holds great importance as an insight into what constitutes family dynamics. Robyn's admission also underlines the need for agency. Robyn has been living a life where she has to make compromises and exercise self-control for a long time. This admission reminds everyone that she has a right to her emotions and that she deserves to be recognized and satisfied. This admission allows Robyn as much as it allows her family to recognize the implications of her emotional condition. This is a precursor to a more equal and emotionally intelligent home. Additionally, this truth could give more family members a reason to look back at their own experiences. The co-wives could look at their own satisfaction, communication, and boundaries. Kody could look at how he is handling family relations. Finally, Aurora could have the confidence to establish boundaries and seek happiness for herself. The butterfly effect from Robyn's truth could lead to further conversations about emotional health, accountability, and family unity, if done carefully. However, there are some problems that exist in this situation. What makes addressing emotional dissatisfaction in a polygamous family complex is that there are competing demands, some historical baggage, and some entrenched behavior patterns. What Robyn has to do now that she has finally opened up about her struggles is go further and explore the consequences of this new openness in her family. As audience members and fans, this dynamic presents an interesting opportunity to see the human side of the Brown family. As reality TV can tend to exaggerate or gloss over conflict to create more entertainment value, the confession that Robyn has made demonstrates that it is not quite that simple. A reality that the audience is experiencing in real-life terms, in terms of transformation and growth. Further, Robyn's confession has also triggered other conversations regarding parenting, marriage, and boundaries. Many people are taking a look at their family dynamics in relation to this, and realizing that unresolved emotional issues can also impact family bonds. The Brown family situation is both a cautionary tale and a lesson in personal growth that can occur when people are faced with harsh realities. In the end, the confession has presented a turning point in the life of the Brown family. Kody, Aurora, as well as the rest of the siblings, will have a significant role in determining what is going to happen in their relationships as a result of this confession. All this is not just about drama. In fact, it is even more complex, involving emotional accountability, the connection of all members of a family, as well as happiness. As the Brown family faces this critical phase in their lives, the global audience is eagerly watching the events unfold. The after effects of this disclosure will not only decide the future of Robyn and Kody's union, but also the emotional terrain of the whole family. Audiences are quite invested in the scenario and watching with bated breaths, because they realize that this is a reality TV series, but also the actual struggle and quest of the whole family to be happy amidst this unorthodox setup. Conclusion. In conclusion, the polygamy secret that Robyn Brown has kept has some serious repercussions to the Brown family. This episode has already exposed some of the emotional struggles of polygamy, in addition to repercussions resulting from dissatisfaction and parental involvement in shaping up their daughter Aurora. On the other hand, it has also got some positive undertones of healing and learning that all depend on how the family responds to it in future. There is no doubt that for all fans of Sister Wives, including all of us here today, that the Browns are still on an episode, because there is bound to be a conclusion that brings all of us some kind of happiness.